Hello everyone! So after almost 1 month of a break, I finally got the new submission. Today I've got 10 landscape pictures from Thiago, and I believe all of these pictures were shot in Peru. So let's get started with the first one. So you definitely have captured the movement of this train, and I really like that. It really looks very special. You really managed to get an interesting look on a scene that is otherwise probably not that interesting, and I like the contrast between those trees being so blurry and then you have the sharp mountains right there. I think that's a nice contrast, and I do like the picture. It's definitely very creative. Let's go on to the next one. This one, I mean, in terms of colors, of course, I don't know how it actually looked, but it seems almost like the colors are a little bit washed out. But of course, that's, I don't know how it actually looked. But I really love this fluidity of this picture. You have so many lines that work perfectly with each other. You have these streets, you have these lines between those two fields, and even in the background in the mountains you have some nice lines, and you even have the street continuing back there. So that's really nice composition. In terms of the foreground pole, I actually really like it. It adds a lot of interest and makes the whole picture seem to have a little bit more depth. But I don't really like these power lines of this pole. But I mean, that's a trade-off you have to do. It's probably very difficult to, edit these out in post. So I think overall it's a good idea that you have included this pole in the foreground, because it really helps to create depth. So overall, I think a really solid picture. I really love that you didn't cut off any of these mountains. Beautiful lines and beautiful fluidity to this picture. This one's right here, not really a landscape photo, but a very creative photo as well. A really funny photo of a little kid looking where the water's coming from. I think if you would have cut off some of that foreground, it could have worked a little bit more simplistic, a little bit better, and maybe even try and go with black and white. So because there's not really any interesting color here, so I think making this in black and white picture and cutting some of this foreground, this blurry grass, dirt stuff out of here would make the whole picture a little bit more simplistic. And by the way, I would love to see him not cut off, because that really, I don't think it necessarily works to cut him off right there. So, these three things, and I think you have a pretty funny, solid picture. Let's go on here. Now this is an amazing picture. This is truly really cool. Really beautiful. I mean, the light is definitely what makes this picture amazing. Without this amazing light, especially here in the mountains, but also in the foreground, this really beautiful light, without that you would have still a good image, but it's not amazing. So now with the light, you really do have an amazing image, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely beautiful. And I like that you have this runway from the airport, I believe, going into the picture, which is also something that kind of splits the image in two, but I really think that works for this photo here. And absolutely beautiful contrast and beautiful lighting on these mountains. Absolutely amazing picture. So let's see here. So here you have a really big separation and differentiation of shades, and that's definitely what makes the picture. The background seems to be a little bit out of focus, but I don't even mind that, because it's a dreamy picture anyways. But I don't really like this blue tone, so I think this picture would work way better in black and white. And I think in black and white you can emphasize these tones, these dark tones and these shades even more. I mean, you really have a ton here, from very dark, medium dark, a little bit lighter to very light, going from dark to light even. Really, if you would make this a black and white picture, I think this could be really strong. I mean, it's not bad in color as well, but I still think black and white would work way better. Then let's see here. So that's really a funny image as well of so many antennas. And I definitely like that you've chosen a panoramic aspect ratio. I really think that works to isolate, the main subjects, which are these antennas. And you have some beautiful light as well. So I think, this wouldn't be necessarily a picture that I would hang on my wall, but it's definitely an interesting picture, and I think you've managed to create the most beautiful picture from, the subjects you have. I wonder what these lights or these spots right here are. Let's go on to the next one, and we have a sheep or maybe a llama. And first thing I notice is these two spots right here. They definitely do distract me a lot from the image, and you definitely do have to get rid of them. It's very easy if you use Lightroom. The spot removal tool should get you, rid of these in about 1 minute. So really no big deal. I really do like the backlighting, absolutely beautiful. Just this fur really looks good, and you definitely went for a very mystical, very dark mood here, and I think it works, but I do not like this color of the sun rays. I really think this is definitely a black and white picture, and if you edit this in black and white, if you turn it into black and white, you could end up with a pretty interesting picture. I mean, ideally would of course to be if you could at least see the animal's head in some way. It doesn't have to necessarily be directly looking into the camera, but kind of that his head is behind his leg right here is kind of distracting as well. So, but I think, you could definitely get something out of it if you were to remove these spots and turn it into black and white. So it looks like a train passing by. And I do like that you went for a lower shutter speed to really create interest, but I would actually love for you to go a little bit further back, because if you were to include some of the signs at the railway station, or maybe a bench or some people waiting, something like that, it really would give a little bit more context into the picture. And also I would love to see a little bit more of the train. Now, in terms of shutter speed, I mean, I like that you slowed down the shutter speed 10 seconds here. It's quite a lot. Maybe if you would just try to get like 2 seconds, so you would still get some blurry windows, so you would actually see that it's a train and not just see, the stripes and the color here. This right here. This doesn't really speak to me. I see that you wanted to get these rails to lead you into the picture, but actually a thing that I found is that if you use like rails or any texture, any line, maybe a street, if it comes from the right side and leads you in the picture from there, it kinda is almost stronger, because if you take it from the left, it almost divides the picture in half. Now I don't know if I'm the only one who perceives it as that, and I can see what you were going for, but I think if you would have just, switched sides, it might have been a little bit of a stronger picture. And I definitely like that you went for a longer shutter speed. I really love this ghosting here of these people. I think that looks really, really interesting. And actually, maybe if you just would have gone for a tighter crop of just these people right here, not even including all of that foreground, just zooming in and going with a crop like this, it might have even worked better, just more simplistic. And yeah, I mean, either switch sides or zoom in how it is right there. I don't think it's too strong of a picture. This right here is actually the last photo, and it's really, really interesting. I don't actually know if this is a macro shot or if you shot this from above on a hill or anything like that. I really, really do like this. It really has a certain fluidity with all of these lines. It really works. I think this is a really interesting picture, and I really don't know how you could make this a better picture. Really amazing shapes, from circles to half circles to squares with all of these different colors, and then you have these lines, and the fact that I don't really know if it's a macro shot or a shot from far above from a hill. I mean, I'm gonna go with the guess that you shot this from a hill, but I might be wrong, and overall I really think it's a really good picture. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you shot it in macro or from above anyways, but I definitely really like this picture. So these were the 10 pictures of Thiago. By the way, thank you very much for submitting them. It really was a ton of fun looking at them, and I know that you've submitted some of your pictures a few months ago, so really thank you for sticking around so long on this channel. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I definitely do like a lot of your picture. You definitely have a very different view than most people would on a lot. I really like this one right here. This one is also pretty good. This one right here, the cityscape with the amazing light, is absolutely amazing. This one, yes, I would put it into black and white, and I think you'll end up with a much stronger image. This is definitely a very funny image and portrayed in the most beautiful way. This one, of course, go into black and white and remove the spots. So yeah, definitely I think that you have overall some really solid pictures, and I really think you have a lot of talent. So I hope I could give you maybe another view on your pictures that you maybe haven't even thought about. But as always, this is just me giving my opinion to a picture. Of course, art, there's no right or wrong and all that stuff, but just look at the points I made and maybe you've learned something. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this critique. If you would like to submit your own landscape pictures, be sure to click this little info card in the top right corner of this video, and you'll get to a video where I explain everything on how you can submit your landscape photos. I wish you all a great day, and please keep taking awesome pictures. Take care.